A documentary filmed partly in Manistee is being released on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and eventually will land on HBO Max. And we're joined by Luke Coy of Up North Collectors to discuss Hobby Hustle. Welcome to the show, Luke.
Thanks for having me.
So before we jump into the film Hobby Hustle, tell us a little bit about Up North Collectors.
Yeah, so we're a shop in Manistee, Michigan. We specialize in sports cards and memorabilia. We have another location now in Traverse City, Michigan. So I opened my first store in Manistee when I was 18. And then opened up this other store in Traverse City this past October. And so we specialize in selling sealed boxes. We buy other people's collections when they bring them into the store. And yeah, that's what we do.
Now, something that caught my eye with Hobby Hustle was that they are really exploring both sides of the trading card industry, which is very important because as someone who grew up collecting baseball cards, like many kids I imagine did in the 90s, it kind of got a sour reputation.
Absolutely.
Primarily because of individuals like one of the people focused on in this film that were very talented forgers.
Yes.
So that, honestly, I feel like turned off a lot of collectors when they were kids. What kept you going? What kept you wanting to still make this a large part of your life?
It's a lot of fun. It's all the memories that you can make, and,
yes.
and you know, we see that every day in our shop with little kids that are opening packs of cards, and they just have moments that they're going to take home with them and remember for really the rest of their lives for the most part, which is really cool.
So, Hobby Hustle. Tell us a little bit about the film project and how Up North Collectors became a part.
Yeah, so the film project, we got approached 2 years ago by the production company and asked if our store wanted to be a part of it, so we gladly accepted. And we really didn't know what was going to be, the whole documentary was going to be about. We knew what they filmed at our location, and then getting to watch the documentary and kind of see the tale of two different stories of the good side of the hobby and then the side with all of the criminal activity and the forgeries was definitely really interesting.
Now, as someone who owns a store dealing with this, is that something you yourself are constantly on the lookout for? Are these forgeries?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And,
okay.
and we see them, especially, I've seen ones from the man that was featured in the film that was creating those forgeries. We've seen some of those in store as well, and
really?
often. So yeah, there's just a lot of fake merchandise out there, a lot of fake cards today. A lot of fake Pokemon cards is really common because those are really popular.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of that stuff every day.
How do you combat that, Lou? Because I imagine it's, for someone who owns a store, it's particularly frustrating because you have to almost be the bad guy for the bad guys. You have to let the person know, hey, this card you bought like 20 years ago that you thought was going to be worth millions, yeah, it's fake.
Yeah, and that's the not so fun part of the job.
Yeah.
It's fun being able to tell people that they have cards that are worth millions and millions of dollars or $1,000 or whatever it might be, but the majority of the job is telling people that what they think might be worth a lot of money is worth nothing or completely fake. So it's hard to do, but the best thing is just to be honest with people and you know, let them know that what they have isn't real and try to give them some advice on what they might be able to do with it. So
now, is there recourse for individuals who've kind of been taken in by, because it's a scam.
100%.
Boil it down, it's a scam. So is there any recourse for people?
There's not much. I mean, you can unfortunately you can try to get your money back through the court system, but it's very hard to do. And a lot of the fake stuff that we see was generally produced in that late 80s, early 90s era,
during the
where
hype
most people
era,
where most people collected. And there's still stuff today, but that's where a majority of the stuff is. And usually you see it with big ticket names like a Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Tom Brady. You see it with the guys that'd be really, really valuable, Babe Ruth, something like that. So.
I'm thinking one of the big hot cards when I was a kid, the King Griffey Jr. rookie card that everyone constantly was talking about being the holy grail of cards.
Yep.
So I imagine there's a lot of signed Ken Griffey cards out there.
100%, yes, yes. And some of them are really signed by Ken Griffey and some not so much.
And some not so much. So we only got a couple minutes left. What was it like to be showcased on a documentary about what you do? Because I mean, it's got to be a little bit of vindication, because I'm assuming getting into a card collecting store was a bit difficult now that the hype days are past us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, it's really, really cool to be able to watch that, watch it back and be able to kind of relive those moments and just have that forever to be able to look back on and see those moments when I'm opening up a store and the film follows our grand opening. So be able to watch that and see that moment again is really, really cool. So.
That's really, in particular, very, very cool, because now you get to share those opening days with potentially millions of people all across the world.
Absolutely, which is really, really neat. So
now, how can our viewers check out the film?
Yeah, so they can watch it. It's on Amazon Prime. The trailer's on YouTube. You can catch it there, and then Apple TV. Right now, it's streaming on all those services. So you can check it out. Check it out there.
And if someone wanted to pay a visit or maybe just reach out and maybe ask some questions about the process, maybe they have, like one of the stories in the film, an attic full of cards that could potentially be millions of dollars. How can they reach out to you and get more information?
They can check us out on our website, upnorthcollectors.com, where we have all of our contact information, a contact form you can fill out and send to us, or they can just bring what they have in store, and we're happy to check it out for them.
I feel like a lot of people who keep this as a hobby, it's because of the stories behind the cards, not necessarily the cards themselves. So before we wrap up today, Luke, I'd love to hear from you. Maybe a story of someone that came in, they didn't really know what they had, but they were just trying to offload stuff because they needed the money, and you were able to share, hey, you won the lottery here.
Yeah, there's one time where an older gentleman came in and he had it was a paper book that he came in with. And he opened up the book, and inside was a 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle rookie card, which was featured, in the trivia question there. And it's just loose in this page of the book. And he knew it was worth something, but he had no idea of the extent of the value. So we were able to get it graded for him and help him sell it. So that was pretty neat.
And in our last 30 seconds or so, could you clarify what graded means for our viewers?
Yeah, so graded is a scale from 1 to 10 on the condition of a card. Which is pretty comparable to any different collectible industry where you can get an item authenticated and then assigned a number grade. And the higher the grade, a 10 is worth the most money, a 1 is worth the least money.
Gotcha. So a 10 is perfect condition, still in the original packaging, barely ever touched.
Yep, exactly.
Gotcha. 10-4. Luke,
awesome.
Thank you so much for coming in for this great information.